Hey, it says you are live. I thought I'd come and make this quick video or live stream, whatever it is. I had a very busy day today dealing with pain. Man, the pain is just, I don't even know. It's got to be, sometimes you think it's punishment for something else and this and that because the pain I have is just outrageous. But it's a part of getting older, I guess. But I had to go to a pain management day and get an injection in my shoulder, which I normally get them in my back. But, and they sometimes they don't really like to give you any kind of sedation for those kind of shots. They strap you with Velcro so you don't move. And I've had those shots twice without anything. And it's horrible. It's horrible. And I told her today, I said, give me sedation or some kind of drink, give me something. So she said, well, it's just a simple shot and then you get 2 or 3 sticks. I said, but it hurts. She said, well, you probably don't need sedation, so we'll give you this drink. She gave me about that little bitty sip of something red to drink. Tastes like cough syrup. And I drank that and get back in there in the room and still felt the pain. I'm screaming and crying and stuff. And I made up my mind when I got home and got over this because the drink, it doesn't, you feel pain, but you feel stupid. And my legs, restless leg, it was just a horrible feeling. And after I got myself back to normal, I said, I'm not going to take no more of these shots. I'm just going to use my little pain patch, this and my hydrocodone and BC arthritis and all the creams and Bengay I can find. And I'm just going to have to deal with this my way because these shots and things, it ain't working for me. But the pills and things that help. But anyway, I didn't come by to rant and rage about that. But that was what my day was like. But the title is about payday. When I was in the Holin's Church, the old people sing a song. Better get mined out, lined out. Payday is coming after a while. So you had to. They were saying that payday is coming after a while. And I was young. I didn't know what that meant. I said, payday? Man, somebody had a job and they going to get paid. And as I got older, I realized that's karma coming back to pay you back, be it good or evil. Because if you plant it, it's surely going to grow. So I had a conversation with one of my relatives last night, and it seems like most of the people that I talk to are younger people. I guess I'm the oldest in the sect. I don't know. Sometimes I talk to my older brother, but he's gotten to the point now where he hates to ask me questions and just my philosophy on things. One time, a couple of years ago, he said, "Mary, I don't want to talk to you about none of this stuff." He said, "Cause I know you're strange and I know you have a special gift, but I don't want you to tell me nothing about what is true because that's gonna make me have to do something, and I'm too old to change." I said, well, brother, stop asking me questions because I don't know nothing but the truth. This is my world. I tell you what works for me and what doesn't work. But this relative, young relative, is talking to me. But we've been going over this little situation probably about a couple of weeks. And I just got fed up with it because the thing about it, I didn't think she was telling me the whole story anyway. And some people, that's when you dealing with people who have an addiction of lying. Believe it or not, lying is an addiction. You have to sit back and say, is this the truth? And most likely it's not the truth. But the story she was painting, it just didn't make sense. And I finally told her, I said, last night, I said, let me tell you something, baby. I don't have any money or anything I can give you, and you know that. But I can only give you advice. This man that you are feeling sorry for, this is the father of her two children. He's going through, I mean, he's a man. First of all, he spent his younger years in the penitentiary, like from 19, I think he spent almost 20 years in the penitentiary. And the only thing he did was sold drugs on around a campus of an elementary school. So that's really hard. So he spent a long time in jail. And when he got out, it was a whole new world. He had to just figure out stuff, but he went back to the old crime ways. So he, I'm trying to, let me slow down so I can tell it. He did a whole lot of stuff that just wasn't right, but just a big fella, 6'6", just a big man. He opened up stores and different things, but his mother is about my age, maybe a little older. Well, was she's deceased now, but his mother, MS, really took her down. And I have MS, but I'm managing. I'm managing pretty good. But she had gotten so till she could hardly walk, and she wanted food, and this boy got cars and owning cigarette stores. And do you think he would make sure his mother got her meals? So they ended up giving her the scooter, the handicapped scooter. And she would get on that scooter, get to the bus stop, and the bus would let her out in front of her favorite restaurant, a soul food place. And the people knew her, and when she didn't have any money, they just give it on credit, and she would pay it back when her social security check came. So she was a sweet lady, and I never understood why her son, she had two sons, why they couldn't take care of her meals. Just if that's what she got a craving for, get her sweet Georgia. That's what it was, sweet Georgia brown. She loved that, which I do too, but the cost is so high now. But anyway, this particular day was Sunday. She had went to church, and she caught the bus to Sweet Georgia Brown, and the line is usually on Sunday wrapped around the building. But they gave her dinner, and she was crossing the street in her wheelchair, and a car came and just knocked her to kingdom come. Both her legs were broke, her pelvic. I mean, just she was banged up everywhere she could be banged up. And she suffered for a while. I know it was over a month. And she finally died. But I was so, I don't know, upset about that. That could have been avoided. Your mother should never have to ride a scooter to go get her a meal, as dangerous as it is. And having MS, your judgment and your timing is really off. It's you shouldn't even do that. But she suffered, Lord have mercy, and she finally died. But this boy, he didn't feel no guilt or nothing. She should have been driving in most school. I told her, blah, 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 blah. His excuse. But a couple of years ago, not even a couple, last year, this big 6 foot something man had a stroke. I don't care how big and how bad you think you are. Hey, two people, say something. Say hey. Well, if you don't want to, because sometimes I be in people's life, I don't say nothing. But anyway, how big or how bad you are, karma is coming. And so he had this massive stroke, and it paralyzed his whole one side of his body. I forget what it was, the right side, I think the dominant side. So he didn't have any insurance because he wasn't old enough to have Medicare or nothing. So he had to go through the whole process of being declared disabled, getting SSI and all these handouts. And I know how it goes, because when I became disabled, I had to do that. Since my divorce from my ex-husband, I didn't have any medical. So I know how you suffer, and you have to go to the county hospital to get help. but he ended up being angry, and then he wanted my my relative to continue to do for him, and he didn't have a place to stay, and she made sure all of that was taken on, and just wearing her down. I told her, I said, let me tell you one thing. Y'all broke up before he had this stroke. And one night he was in your care when he had this stroke. That's not your responsibility. I said, but you better be careful. Because when the universal God or whoever God, whenever karma is doing payback, you have to be careful. Now, if it's a good payback, we always want to, ooh, he got here, he won that lottery. I'm gonna go hang around. Maybe he is chunk a little money to me. Okay, well, cool. That's good. You get to be friends. But when the payday is bad, I'm telling you, you better keep your distance. It's kind of like when you are whooping somebody. When my kids are cut up and I'm getting after them, my youngest son, he knew to hide in a distance and watch from afar. Cause when the fight is on and I'm slinging a belt, we don't know who gonna get hit. So you keep your distance when karma is coming that way. I mean, sometimes we be in the line of fire and we don't know it, but it's so much going on. And I was, I don't know, I was thinking today while I was sitting in the doctor's office, and I'm in a pain management program, and a lot of people come in there, they addicted to the hydros and whatever else. Sometimes they give stronger than that. They're addicted to that. And then when you do your UA test and it come up negative with some stuff you're not supposed to have, they will cut you off. One time I was there and this man came in there. He threatened to kill everybody in there because they had cut him off of his pain medication. So that situation was going to be volatile if he had acted out on that. And I said, I better get myself clear, get in my car, and drive away. And the police finally came and they took him off. But you never know how these people are feeling at these pain clinics, and it's always something. They didn't do it right, or the surgeon messed up. When I was having so many back surgeries, there were people who were there. Their whole family was there, and they was getting ready to beat up the surgeon because he had nicked some of them spinal cord, and they were paralyzed. He actually nicked my spinal cord. Thank God I wasn't paralyzed, and I wasn't supposed to even find this out. But the day after I got home from the hospital, they had to rush me in the snow because I had a horrible headache, and the doctor was off duty. So I'm talking to the emergency at the hospital. He said, "My God, you better hurry and get here because I'm reading the surgery notes." And Doctor blah blah blah, he did nick your spinal cord, but they did stop the leak. But you're probably having some more leakage. And I said, "What?" So I rushed on in there, and they did the CAT scan, and the spinal cord wasn't leaking again. But we don't know who we surrender ourselves to having surgery. And I said, I'm not going to do that anymore, but I got kind of off. But, you just never know your environment. So if you know that something is building up to somebody getting ready to get a whooping, you stand clear and as far as you can. When I told this child, I said, he got his little SSI or whatever. You need to cut ties to him altogether because he threatens her with text and say, I'm gonna kill you and I'm gonna do this. People, if they say it, they plant that seed and they might actually do it. So I don't want to make any enemies and stuff, which I probably do have some enemies, but I hope it never gets that bad where somebody threatens to kill me. I just it's not worth it. But payday is coming after a while, be it good or bad. And you can get a windfall and blessings. I've had that in my life, windfall and many blessings is falling down on me. Had so much I didn't know what to do with it. And your close family members and friends, they know that you are a giver, so they'll flock around. But man, when the tides turned and I was getting calmer back with surgeries and just doing bad, you barely get a phone call because they know you got to have some help. So, but our help come from the Lord, and we have to, believe that. We have to know that, and somebody will come and intervene with the problem. But if you know somebody been doing some dirty, dirty stuff, stay clear. Okay. I've been talking for 15 minutes, and that's all I had to say. It was on my mind real hard because I didn't want to talk to her that long about what I was feeling because I've had that conversation with her before. But 9 times out of 10, people not really listening anyway. So, but anyway, just find out. Payday's coming after a while, and you got to keep your distance from that whooping that's coming. Okay. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye.